Record button. Okay, so welcome to the webinar. As you know, today we'll have quite an unusual topic. We'll talk more about investment. We'll talk about how to build a successful portfolio of the different investments. And of course, we'll talk a bit about the Skyway as well, especially for new people who join in us for the first time and who's here for the first time. Then it's definitely, you'll find a lot of useful information. So back to the polls, let's just have a look how many times you have attended the webinar. So if you can just choose how many times you attend this webinar or any webinars, in fact, that will be good. So it will give me a good understanding. Okay, what sort of the people we have in the room. Okay, thank you, John. Say hello to folks. All right, so most of you have attended more than 3 times, which is fine. I guess the idea we have is to do different webinars. So every week we'll do the webinar about the investment opportunities, about the business opportunities. And once in 2 weeks, we'll do some webinars, a topic related to their like the how to build your network, and we'll talk about latest promotions. So we'll spend more time talking to the partners, and you people, they can come on every Thursday. Usually every Thursday 7 o'clock I'll do the webinars where I'll talk about technology itself, and from onwards I will talk also about the investment, and investment part will dominate very soon our webinars, because this is our end result, what we're trying to achieve as a group. And I will tell you a bit more in a few seconds. Okay, so most of you been here more than 3 times. Thank you very much. All right. So can you please put pluses if you can see my screen as well? Perfect. All right, so as usual, for the people who's here for the first time, keep your questions right at the end, and then I will be able to answer them all one by one. For some reason, when I do the presentation, I cannot see the question bar, but when presentation is finished, then it will be a good time to answer all your questions. So make sure you have a pen and paper today. You might find lots of things which you might which you didn't know before or wasn't aware. So it will be good if you not just listen but also writing down, because it is scientifically proved that when people listen and then writing in, so it will work very effectively for you, and you will memorize this information quicker. And that will be our end result, to make sure that after the webinar you're crystal clear what is the company strategy in short term, long term, what will be our expectations, how we would work with a different country across the globes, and what will be next steps for our partners especially. So please listen carefully. Probably most of you heard about cash flow quadrant. The first time I heard about this was around 7 years ago, when I read the book written by Robert Kiyosaki, Poor Dad, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And when I read this book, actually, I could not relate it to that much. But then now, as time passed, I can see that actually whatever he mentioned in this book and many other books Robert Kiyosaki published, and I read them all. Now I can relate to every single sentence. Some of his theories and practices I really agree with. Some of them not so sure, but at least I'm aware that they exist. And whatever decision I make in my life, I will try to have a look on my knowledge. I will try to assess the situation from the certain ways that afterwards I will make the right decision. So let's have a look on this cash flow quadrant. So basically what does it mean? That all of us have choices who we want to become. If you want to be rich, if you want to be crazy rich, or if you want to be just middle class. And some people, believe me or not, they prefer to stay poor. They prefer to earn less money. And I know there is a saying like which my mom used to tell me when I was small, that happiness is not, it does not depend on how much money you have. Yes, I might agree with that sentence, but at the same time, the more money I have will directly relate to my happiness as well. Because then I can afford lots of things, and I can buy, I don't know, presents for the people around me. So I can share my happiness and I can share my success with them. And if I'm poor, if I'm just there by myself with such a little money, then it will be really depressing life, I guess. So that's why we can clearly see that new generation now think different and react different, and we can really go to much detail why and how. But let's concentrate on this slide. So basically, it tells you that there are four types of people, or four types of income you can have. The first left top, E, stands from employee. So employee, that will be probably around 70% of all people. So you have your daily job, full time or part time. But point of to be an employee, that's you have a legal contract which entitles you to work for certain hours a week, certain hours a year, and then you'll have holidays, certain days a year, and etc. So you put yourself in a brackets where you understand what exactly needs to be done for you to get paid, and at the same time you don't have much of a flexibility on some jobs. No matter how hard you work, you will still, by the end of the month, you receive the same money. And Armand always keeps saying that, and I really agree with him. That's when you taken to the first time you work for employee, for the first few months they overpay you because you come as a trainee, so you don't know much stuff, and they pay you to do the job they want you eventually do. But then for the rest of your life, you left underpaid, because the more you stay with one company, they would ask you to do more things. They would ask you to have more people in your team, and depends, of course, what job you do. But even from my experience, the longer I stay with the company, not necessary that my salary check will grow as fast as my task will grow. Because the more I know about the product, the more I know about the clients, the more demand my boss would have. And this is very true. And one of the limitations to have, like, to be employees, that's no matter how hard you work, you will stick to the same paycheck for many years. And this is reality. This is how our parents worked, and like we all pretty much same age, I guess. So we saw this from the childhood age, when our parents were going to work and very tired, and they come back home, and then you look at it as if that's how the life is. So E is stand from employee, and also that's something 70% of all the people there belong to E, employee. The second one underneath the e-employee S, which means self-employee. So these are the people who work for themselves. It could be, I don't know, any people who work in a serving industry, like construction workers, or, for example, barbers. So all people who work for themselves. But at the same time, they do have lots of limitations as well. For example, if you don't work for yourself, then would you get paid for the job? No. So you cannot take a holidays and then receive a holiday pay if you work for yourself, because you don't have none. When you work for yourself, you need to organize the business around you, but then you are the main assets for your company. And if for some reason you don't want, or you cannot longer work, then unfortunately you're not going to longer receive the income unless you create a business. And business, it's the B sign on the top right. So business, it's very popular. Especially we can see lots of startups living here in London. I can see that lots of startups we have here, and it's now very popular in America, in Europe, and many countries. So the people, they don't want to become completely independent. They want to have a business where they have different business partners, so they can have a different responsibilities. And when the people have a great idea which will unite them and bring them all together, they can create a great business where they not necessarily work as employee, and they not necessarily work as a self-employee. So they create the business, and successful business paid off very well. And the good example would be Mark Zuckerberg. When he created the Facebook now with his massive business, Mark, he doesn't have to work himself, or Richard Branson, he doesn't work for all 400 companies he created. He managing them. So this is where most of the people will want to be. We all, most of us, would want to have our business to manage our cash flow, to make sure that we can be successful. We have a big plans for the company. We can develop. We can talk with different countries. Have like different clients from all over the globe. So idea of to have a business where you put the structure together, but then you find the right people who can do different jobs. Because if you're a business owner, it's not necessary that you would be good at accounting, or you would be good with I don't know, a good lawyer. Not necessary that you're good with the paperwork. Maybe you just have a great idea. But the job of the business owner is to find the right people, and he can delegate the tasks. So this is very key. And actually, if you not work for the business, it can still generate you income. And this is very good thing compared to employee or compared to self-employee. Because if you don't work, if you, for example, if your boss fired you, so you don't have a job anymore. Are you going to earn any passive income or any income at all? No. If you're self-employed and you cannot work for some reason, or you want to go for holidays, then would you get paid for that? No. And the business you can get paid even without you physically coming to work every day, even without you working for the company every day. So most of the people should think about having own business, and it's very famous saying by, again, Robert Kiyosaki, that unless you have your own business, it will be extremely difficult for you to reach the financial independence and financial freedom. And this is true. But however, B is not the last on this equation. We have I, which stands from investor. An investor, this is the only person who does not have any sort of direct relationship to the business at all. You're not creating business, you're not working for business, you're not supporting business. What you do is you invest into business. But at the same time, investment is not that easy. There are so many companies who will ask your money, who will ask your support. And if every time when people approach me with a new business idea, I would say yes, then I would be probably bankrupt by now, because I've already been involved in a few businesses and they were successful like for a few hours and then it's failed significantly, you know. And I know lots of my friends who open on business, and it is the statistics that 90% of the business failed. So that's why investor, you doesn't have to work for the company. All what you do is you need to have the right knowledge for you to understand if the company is profitable or not, if the company has any future plan, what will be the strategy of the company, how the product development line will look like, and etc. So you need to be really analytical. And there are a few very famous investors, and you probably all now are familiar with with the US. Now they have this, you know, fighting over the next election. So lots of people in the US, they are investors in fact. And I think statistically, very recently I saw the statistic that this is the one of the successful country in terms of the investment. So for some reason in America, people, even when they're young, they understand that you have certain money you need to invest. There are different opportunities where you can invest into. And for them, it's very natural. Compared to the Europe, where people, they prefer to either hold on to their money or to put them in the saving account. In America, statistically, the people much more kind of aware about investment. It's not necessary that they more educated in terms of the financial education, but at least they're aware, and it's quite popular. And I think the first crowdfunding firm actually was formed in America as well. So there are lots of examples. But what I try to outline here, that out of all these four investors, only the piece of quadrant where you don't have to work for the company, you can invest your money and you can earn the profit on like your life during the lifetime. Because investment works in a way that's you don't have to invest like every day, every month, every quarter. You can invest once in a lifetime, and then you just stick to this investment forever. And I will talk about the portfolio investment later on. At the same time, you don't have to choose which one you want to be. You can be maybe investor, and at the same time you can be an employee at the beginning. So maybe you have a salary which comes every month, and then you're happy to invest a percentage out of your salary, which is fine. Or maybe you self-employed, but you want to have your business. Let's say you work for someone else building the house, but you want to open your own company and do the real estate business, which is also a great idea. So what I'm trying to tell you is that you don't need to decide who you want to become, because it is not the easy choice. And as I said, most of the people they are employees. But the beauty of this choice is that you can trust yourself enough to understand where you want to go and what you try to achieve. And taking consideration your achievement, you will understand where you need to belong. And most of the people, of course, they would want to become investors because it seems like very easy way, just put your money aside and then receive the dividends. But at the same time, it's going to require lots of knowledge. It will require to have lots of education. So that's why it is not straightforward way. But if you're already aware of these four different types of cash flow, then you are today, after this webinar, you're more aware than the 60% of the people who never heard about this. So let's have a look. What is your reality, or what is the most of the people reality? So it's called rat race cycle. Again, back to Robert Kiyosaki. So you work very hard, you earn your money, then you receive your salary, you have your paycheck. Then what you pay for your bills. You may be going for holidays, or buying some nice clothes, or going to the restaurant with your friends. And then what happens is somewhere in the middle of months, maybe in week 3, you realize that you don't have much money, and you still have to wait for your salary, which will be in a week time or week and a half. And what do? You either asking your friends to give you a bit of cash, or you taking the credit cards. And this is actually 80% of the people today. This is their reality. And it doesn't matter if you employee or if you self-employee, even if you're business owners. You know how many business owners, they like really, really struggling money-wise? It is a really big problem. So 80% of the people today, they go through the rat cycle every month. So what we're trying to do here is we want to bring the awareness that this is reality for most of the people. However, there is a solution. And if you're willing to learn, if you're willing to understand, then we're happy to give you tools which will help you to become more financially independent, which will help you to be involved in different investment opportunities where you can earn some passive income. But unless you made this decision, no matter what I say, no matter how great the opportunity may be, the people, they're very skeptical, they don't believe, they don't want to believe, they're stubborn, or they're not dedicated enough. So that is why if you feel like you are in the right cycle, in the right race cycle, and you feel like this is your reality, then you definitely need to act on it, because you don't want to your life be like this. You don't want to your kids to follow your example and then struggle for the rest of their lives, because as you can see now, probably the inflation going up every year. So what you could have buy for them £10 today, it is not the same what you could have buy 5 years ago. So that is why it's very important educate yourself and looking for different ways how you can generate this income, so you can do better in your life, so you can afford better things, you can afford better lifestyle. um, I guess it is again all come down to your choice. And some people they happy just to where they are. They don't want to risk their jobs. They don't want to make these choices, and they want to live the comfortable life. I know the friends who earn like 5K a month, and they happy with that. Nevertheless, what they did not realize that the more money you have, the more money you would want it. Because myself, I can be a very good example. The first time when I came to UK, I'm from Estonia, so when I came to UK, I realized that everything here is so expensive. So my first few good months in UK, when went to shopping, all my shopping were, the green color. I used the Asda shopping, and when they have the food produced by Asda, they put this, they bit cheaper, but then they have this green Asda login everywhere. So I would buy only the cheapest stuff because I wanted to have more savings, right? But then as you start earning money, as you start earning more, then you don't want it to buy like just this food anymore. You want to have something. You want to have better choices. You want to have better clothes. You're looking for better brands. You don't want to go to kebab and have some fried chicken, for £5. You want to go to the restaurants. So that's where lots of people they think in very short term. So when they receive the very good salary, let's be, I don't know, 5K. Brilliant, you just get promotion, now you earn 5K months. But how many months you need to earn 5K for you to realize that it's not long enough? 100% what will happen when people earning good money, they either going to take the loans because they want to buy property, or they will spend them all on like little things and little doodles. I don't know, buying some nice shoes or having nice holidays. And this is our reality. So unless people teach themselves and educate how you can have your income and something extra, and how you increase this something extra every month, only then they can achieve financial independence. So it is our choice. Either we stuck to the having not enough for the rest of our lives, and trust me, it doesn't matter how much you earn. The more you earn, the more you will want to buy in the quality of the life, the more you will want to spend. So the choice is very simple. Either you have not enough for the rest of your life, or you have more than enough, and you can share this with your family, with the people you love, with your kids, and etc. etc. So for me, it's very obvious choice, and I'm glad that I realized that earlier. Because again, back to the people who work as an employee, I don't know about your country, guys, but in UK, for example, the average pension is £130 a week, which means that working full time for the 25 years for the company, I can end up with a pension of only around £500, and my rent is now is more than that. So I don't understand the people who saying that, oh, investment is too risky, and you need to get hold of your finance, you need to open the saving account, and then you're going to be fine. No, you're not going to be fine. And people who tell you this, they're not fine. And it's really a shame that sometimes people they listen, they peers, and they kind of they don't want to stand out. They don't want to do risky business because they don't want to look as they like fools. They don't want to fail. And I think this is the completely different topic, so not let's not go to that detail. But what I try to say here that unless you decide yourself that you don't want to stuck on this rat race, only then you will start educating yourself, and only after you educated yourself, you'll see how different doors will open with the different opportunities. So let's now talk about the types of investment. Very briefly, this webinar might take a bit longer than 1 hour, but I hope you enjoyed the information. So there are different types of investment, and here I just give you few of them as example. So we have oops, sorry. So different types of investment: bank deposits, forex, real estate, and equity investment, and different risk level and the profit you can gain within the 5 years plus. So if you're talking about the bank deposits, this obviously I say counts. So it happened every year before financial year starts. So in April approximately, the banks they will approach you to open the savings account, to open ISA account. I think at the moment we had two banks in UK who actually failed and went bankrupt. And what this means for people that you need to check the contract with bank have between the yourself and the client and the bank. And most of the banks, and to give you a number, it's 95% in the banks, wherever they declare the semi bankrupt, they can get hold all your money. You will be surprised to see that. Only few banks, if they declare themselves a bankrupt, they by legally they apply to pay you up to, I think, if you have in a bank less than 50,000, then they pay you from 5 to 20%. If you have more, than percentage is lesser. So imagine, and we have this in 2009 in UK, and then one bank before, and like US Lehman Brothers. It was a few years back when they declared bankrupt, and who lost the money? People lost the money. So bank deposits, even though it says secure here, but me personally, I disagree that it is actually secure. And what I just mentioned about inflation, that's no matter if you have, let's say, £100, £1,000 in your saving account, and it stays there for 10 years, then trust me, you would better spend them on that like 10 years ago, because you could have purchased more goods than you can purchase it now. So that's why the bank deposits, they can provide you some profit, but profit minus inflation is going to be a negative interest, which means that instead of them growing, your money, they decrease in value. Now we have forex, right? Forex, it's very probably nice too for some people. However, statistically, 91% of people who invest in forex, they failed. There could be different risks and different reasons for that, and I don't want to go into much detail, but just to give you a main idea is the people greed. Because in forex, there are different strategies which you can use to grow your portfolio. And when the people, they don't have enough knowledge and they play, when the shares go up and down, or maybe it's gold, or maybe it's currency, it doesn't matter. When the people can see more and more money come to the account, they risk more and more. Same like you go to casino. Of course, it is not the forex. You have different strategy, but then the question I would ask: you have all this strategy, and all this geniuses who teach you about the forex. So why 91% of people, 93% of people are failing? There's something wrong with the strategy, right? Otherwise, everyone would use the strategy to create passive income on site. So you need to be very careful, and if you're the person who can be very calm and do some operations constantly without impulse decision, then maybe forex is for you. Because most of the people fail because because of the greed, or because they make in rush decisions, or because they just want to have more, and they would risk more. So if you not belong to that group of people, then you have very good chances to make at least some money in forex. And as you can see, return 5% profit will be much more higher than you just put your money in a bank account. And next one is real estate. It's very popular in countries like UK, where the average, of course, it depends where you buy the house, but average statistics shows that if you buy a house in London, every 3 to 5 years, the property price double up. Which is the true. And I have a few friends who purchased the two-bedroom house 2 years back, and now actually 2 years, and the flat is doubled. So it is very true, but at the same time, you need to be careful with the real estate, because lots of terms and conditions attached, and you need to understand and that you taken a big loan. It is the big investment commitment, and sometimes property could give you a positive cash flow, but sometimes can give you negative cash flow. For example, if you buy a property and every month you put the money to repair something, and it's like it depends also which area, and so many factors. But what you need to understand when you invest in the property, not buying the house for yourself, but invest in property, you need to have a lots of skills, lots of education, and probably have professional people who done it, so you can just follow their steps. And the real estate could be really lucrative business, but again, it's going to take lots of time and effort, and sales negotiation skills. All this you have in real estate. So people who enjoy to do the sales, work with the people, then real estate might be also a good option. However, the risk here, it is not secure at all, so the risk will be high risk or moderate risk. And percentage, of course, could be higher, as I mentioned, from 100% to 300% in 5 years. And if you live in a city like London or Tokyo, I know that the property price could double even quicker than in 5 years. And last but not the least is equity investment. As you can see, this is the only investment which includes secure risk, moderate risk, and high risk. And if you look at the returns, then it is just all over the top. And equity investment is really, really popular today. And for some people who are not familiar with all these terms, then please write them down, and you can have a look a bit more detail, because all this what I'm trying to tell you here, what I explain you here, these are the basic of the investment. So if you learn these terms, if you understand what a specification of each investment tools, then it will be easy for you to understand which one you can do a site, and which one you can use to bring a positive cash flow or a passive income to yourself. And as I outlined, it's very important you start investing your time and your money in one of these following investment tools. So equity investment can give you a great return, but it could be very risky if you don't know where you invest. Um, so let's have a look separately on equity investment. Equity means that you become co-owner of the company. Maybe it's a coffee shop, or maybe it's a fabrics, or maybe it's I don't know, iPhone. It could be anything. So as soon as you can own the piece of the company, then you become an investor, and it's called equity investment. So you have shares in the company, or like equity. It could be anything. If not shares, it could be, I don't know, intellectual property. So equity investment can divide it in a few groups: startups, crowd investment, existing business. So startups, they very risky. As I mentioned before, statistics shows that around 90% of the startup business they failed. The reason why, it could be many reasons: lack of management, lack of experience, lack of funding. So that's why startups, they're quite high risk, but at the same time, if you choose the right startup with the right management structure, with the right teams, with the right amount of funding they need to put their project and sell it to the clients, then you would have really good like opportunities to earn very good profit. As you can see, the startups, they can be very profitable up to 5,000% in 5 years, which means if you invest $1, then it could become 5,000 times more. So second one is crowd investment. This is very popular now. So crowd investment means that lots of people, they can chip in a company, and we have lots of recently lots of companies, they use crowdfunding. One of their very famous platforms would be Kickstarter or Crowdcube. If you just Google crowdfunding platforms, you'll see lots of the companies who do it. Angels Den, and they all have different terms and conditions how you can become a co-owner, or how you can take a part in the crowdfunding, but they're all available to the public. Crowdfunding or crowd investment, again, it could be high, moderate, and secure risk. And as you can see, the percentage, your yearly profit, or 5 years profit in this case, could be over the top, up to 1 million. And this is true. And the reason is why is, think about a company like Coca-Cola, or think about company like Microsoft, Apple. So all these companies, they had opportunity of some people taking the part of the equity of the company. On that time, they didn't call it crowdfunding, but that was pretty much how it works. So if I'm I don't know, Steve Jobs, right? And I approach my friends, I will tell you, hey guys, I have this idea, let's just open the company. And I just need to collect $1,000, and then we can start putting some production together and do some, I don't know, software development. So 4 people, you said, okay, yeah, sure, let's do it. So we all chip in, and then as soon as the company is successful, and as soon as we can see any profit coming of the product, then I will divide the profit between 4 of us, because we are business partners, right? And there are different terms and conditions with the crowd investment. Actually, the bigger investors, they actually would want to be involved on a company management as well, because if you become a major stakeholder in the company, then you would want to make sure that your money is secure. So you would want to take in control over the management, or maybe some decisions. You would want to be included in the company strategy and development. So many people who are investors, and if they major stakeholders of the company, or they one of the majors, they would want to control the company decisions. So they would want to also become the board of the members. They not work for company. They're not creating the business. They are investors. They invested in company, but as a result, because they have certain knowledge, they want to give their input to the company. So they work with the company management together, and they form the board of executive directors. So that's how it works, and the earnings could be like massive. Again, it depends what company you select. There are so many criteria. When I was back to university, we have even few models specifically for understanding the financial part of the company, how we can predict if the company is successful. And that was just really tiny bit of my business course. But if you want to take it to the next level, there are so many specific schools who will teach just how to do the kind of how to manage the finance, how to invest in different companies, how to read the balance sheet, how to read the like profit and loss analysis. So it's like, it is very complicated topic, but at the same time, if you eat elephant by pieces, then it's much more easier and it's accessible. And I started learning about investment not because I have to, but because I choose to. And I'm really passionate about being an investor in different companies. And this is something I think really cool for people to do, because then you don't have to work for any of the companies if you don't want to. You don't need to be the board of the manager if you don't want to. And at the same time, you can receive the profit on a quarterly basis or so. So this is the crowd investment. And existing business actually, when the company already have, like, they already exist. A good example would be existing business, maybe franchisee. When you want to open a franchisee business, so the people, they might invest to open the franchisee in, I don't know, in Greece or in Italy, in Spain. So it is also investment, and because you know that this business already exists, so it's not that risky as a startups. But at the same time, it could be really high risk, is what work in Europe might not work in Russia, and what work in Russia might not work in the US. So there are different risks also needs to be undertaken when you talk about existing business development and expanding. But return also could be very good, and actually the return on this will be higher than startups because the business already exists. So it has already structure, it has a management, and if the business talking about getting to the next level, it means that business already been successful for some period of time. So that's why it is still high risk, but not as high compared to the startups, for example. So this will be the overview of the investment. And as you probably noticed from these slides, you see in the bottom line, on the bottom of the page, it says Academy of Private Investor. So all this information was taken from Andrei Havratov, Academy of Private Investor. For you who don't know Andrei Havratov in person, he is CEO of the company SkyWay Invest Group. He is the author and founder of Academy of Private Investor. He's self-made millionaire, multimillionaire, and he is professional investor and business coach. So with his skills, he shares his skills with the people. He wants to achieve the point where lots of people, they are financially free, but they're not financially free because likely they invested into the good business. They financially free because they understand how you can build the portfolio of the different business, how you can benefit on a monthly basis, how you can create the portfolio when you have different assets and you get the profit into different time. So it's all, it's a very complex system, but because he been through a few bankruptcy himself, and he again become a millionaire and again. So as if you know how to do it once, then you'll do, second time, a third time, a fourth time. And it's actually a very famous saying that you cannot call yourself self-made millionaire if you didn't went bankrupt 3 times. So he did fail 3 times, and he succeeded even more times. So I guess we would not have success without failure. So it's all like black and white. We have them both, and it's not just about black and white. We have lots of gray in our lives, and we need just to see the opportunity, and you need to seize the opportunity. And that's what he teach in his academy and Skyway Invest Group. This project was also put together by Andrei Havratov, and his vision is to teach people how to invest. And well, the first thing what he would usually advise, he called it 5 commandments for private investors. I'll just talk about them briefly. So first is you need to save 10 to 30% from your income, which means that if you belong to e-employee or as self-employed or be business owner, doesn't matter how much you earn, but at least try to save from 10 to 30% from your monthly income constantly. And the first thing we need to do when you receive your paycheck, not to pay for your cards or for your rent, which of course you need to pay for, but the first thing what you need to do is pay yourself, because you earn this money, you work hard to earn this money. So the first person who you own is yourself. So that is why it's very important people to pay themselves, to give them a good tap on the shoulder, say, well, man, well done, we've done a great job, we complete the project, or you attract so many people, the revenue growing because of you, well done. So you need to pay yourself, and you need to save 10 to 30% out from your salary or your profit, depending on what you do, and you need to save this money, to put them aside. Second, is you need to control your expenses, which means that every successful person understand how much money you receive and how much money you spend. The easy way, what Andre Harata would advise, and I completely agree with him, is put in your notebook, your whatever money you spend and whatever money you receive, and try to do it for a month. Whatever you have a payday, so you put like, I don't know, 1st of November payday, receive, I don't know, $2,000 or pounds. And then I bought, I don't know, I did some shopping, then I pay whatever the rent, and I pay my credit cards. After you put 10 to 30% in your saving account. So then you do minus, 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 minus. And then at the end of the month, you will be able to reflect back, and you would be able to see where you're lacking. Some people, they invest more money than they should in some shopping or like going out. Some people, they invest more money they should to maybe to go for the different I don't know, like parties, and even like education. So you need to make sure that wherever you invest, it is not that you invest in 100% of your money, because you need to have, like, for you to start to do any business, the knowledge is really good, but then you need to put them into the practice. So that is why you need to control your expenses, and you need to have a look where exactly you spending lots of money, and how come that last month you have not enough money for you to till your next payday. So you need to analyze it, and then you need to understand it. And when you have everything written, even as small as, I don't know, buying milk or bread, even that small thing, if you write it down, then you will be able to reflect by the end of the month. And it's extremely useful exercise, and I did it myself, and I can really see the results. When you have a look on your notes, then you will see some patterns, and as soon as you see the patterns, you would be able to reflect on it and do something different next month, because you already experienced and that's last month it didn't work well for you. So this is his second advice. The third one is protect your money, which means that do you know, just don't go crazy if you work hard and say, okay, let's now have a party, I earn it, I work hard. Let's just, spend 1/3 of my salary to get wasted. So make sure that you protect your money, because you earn them hard. So there is a time for you to party, there is a time for you to, I don't know, stay at home, there is a time for you to educate yourself. Everything has a time. So make sure that everything is balanced, and that you're not, going crazy in one day and you spend all your money in the drinks, and the next week you just eat the pasta every day because this is the cheapest, or rice, rice and chicken. So make sure that it's actually you protect your money and it's balanced. Learn how to invest wisely. Again, for you to become investor, or for you to start investing, you need to learn how to invest. So before making any decision, you need to understand the company background. You need to understand the management, all what I mentioned before. So you need to run the analysis, and only then you make a decision if you want to invest in this company or not. And the last but not the least, always learn to earn more. Again, it's very important. You don't want to limit yourself on only one source of income. If you work today, you have a weekend, maybe you work full time, but still you have a Saturday and Sunday, or if you work the part time, you still have maybe half of the week or 3 days in a week. So try to balance your day a week in a way that you do something else which can generate more income. There is so many ways how you can earn money online. So if you just Google how to earn money online, there are going to be tons of different websites when you can do lots of different things. When you can just maybe design for one people, you can do some translations, then you can do some advertisement, and like there's so many tools which you can use to grow your income. And the more income you have, the more a side income you have, it means that you can reinvest back to your business. And that's how it works. So you never stop. So if you earn I don't know, 5K months, right? And you're happy with your salary, but it should not stop you from earning more. You should be always hungry. You should always want to have more, because the more you have, the better you can achieve more, and you can help more people to achieve more. And this is the beauty, that's it is not just about you, we're not trying to, and I'm not saying just to be greedy and earn more and put all the money under the sofa, in your bed, so don't put money in the bank. No, of course not. So don't be greedy, but at the same time, the more money you have, the more it can give you opportunity, but the most importantly, you can give back to community. You can teach in other people. You can show them there is another way. You don't have to work, I don't know, 75 hours a week. There are different ways where you can still earn very good money, and you can spend it with your family, and you can live happily together. And this is the point of always learn to earn more. Never stop on the certain income level. And this come from here. It's come from wherever you believe that you should earn more or not. If you don't believe that you will ever earn more, then you will never will. No matter what you do, then you will get some money, then you will lose some money, you will get again. You'll see the patterns. But as soon as you convince yourself that you deserve it, and as soon as you know what you're going to do with this money, then it's a completely different game altogether. These are just successful people who invest in the venture capital companies. So Uber, Instagram, WhatsApp, LinkedIn, Alibaba. So all these people, they are investors. They don't work for themselves. They're not employee. Some of them, they have a business, but as I said, you don't have to limit yourself only to one quadrant. You can do many different things, and that's what they do, and that's why they're successful. So they decide themselves when they wake up what they want to do, how they want to do. They happy in what they do, and they receiving the great income. They can share with the people. They can start the new startups. New startup can implement positively in all environment in the world, and etc. etc. So it's all very linked, and all these people, they're successful because they made right decision where invest their money and what company to be involved with. And I guess very great example is Uber. Few years we never heard about the Uber cars, and the concept was very unknown, but today it's almost in every city in the world you have Uber car. And Chris Sacco, he invested in Uber, and now he's like multi millionaire. And it's a very good example. If you read about him, you would be able to see a bit more details. And all these people, they're really great examples. And actually, for you to become successful, what helped me as well is to read other people biographies. So I start with the people like Richard Branson, Robert Kiyosaki. I don't all the famous people, even like Barack Obama. You will be surprised actually to read his biography as well, because he come from very poor background. And when you read, Tony Robinson, when you read all these biographies, and then you realize one thing, that most of the people who are successful today, it was not because they had a rich parents and better lifestyle, but because they were motivated. They understood the end result and why they want to become rich, and they were really stubborn. They will never give up, and they just go there to achieve the dreams. So believe me or not, read it yourself. But all the people you see in the slide, they all work hard, and as a result, they earn hard. They earn a lot as well. So read the other people's biography. It's very useful exercise. So as I mentioned before, what Andrei Haratov tried to achieve is to build an investment portfolio. He want to teach people how to do it. So basically, if you're a farmer, you can buy a few chickens, few sheep, few cows, and etc. So you try to differentiate your assets, because chicken can give you egg, I don't know, cows can give you milk, and etc. So there is different outcome from each asset, right? So asset is something you owns, and asset is something which can give you profit. When you have one chicken, this can be very kind of profitable chicken, because it can give you one egg a day or so, right? So this will be your sort of the passive income out of the chicken. But the game is going to be more complicated when we're not talking about the one asset, as in this case it's the farm animals. When we're talking about the different assets, what if this farmer invests in the gold? What if this farmer invests in real estate? Or what if this farmer invests in equity in different businesses? So then the game is different. Then it's next level. Then it's become a bit complex. Then you try to eat an elephant, but then you do slowly with each asset tool separately. and that's would be our result. And that's why we started with one investment opportunity, but then we wanted to teach people how to add more to become the financially successful. I love Peter Lynch. I read a few of his book, very successful businessman, and he mentioned that the key organ for investment is the stomach, not the brain, which means that if you put all your savings into investment and the company, are not performing well, then you will be so stressed. You would not be able to sleep. You will lose your sleep. You will lose your peace. Like it is no point of doing this. You need to invest only this 10 to 30% what you put inside every month, because you can afford to lose this money. You can afford to lose this money. If you reach the point where investment is too painful for you, and you're paying for something and it's harming you because of that expenses you're not getting return, and because of that investment every month you go into the debt, you need to think about it. Was it wise decision right now, or maybe I should have done it later on when I have enough money or enough assets to do. And this is so important, and this is the reason why most of the people in forex they fail, because as soon as you can see all these opportunities here, you want to jump on all of them, but then it's so hard to manage. If you cannot manage, farm with their chicken and cows, then how are you going to manage the portfolio when you have a gold, when you have real estate, when you have, I don't know, 1,000 different farms of different businesses? Then it's going to be so complicated, right? So the first thing what you need to do is have a look on yourself, have a look on your business personal plan. If you have a financial plan, it's perfect. If you don't have, at least have a look at your expenses, and then you will able to see where exactly I'm lacking, why I'm spending more than I have, and do I have results of what I spend. So if you just spend your money going out, then it is very poor investment. Instead of the doing this, you could have maybe house party where you don't have to pay that much for drinks or whatever it is always alternative. So that's why the key organ for investment is the stomach. If you can take it, then you take it. But if you take it and then you lose your sleep, then do not take it. And that's why investment is for not for everyone, and that is why only little amount of people they are professional investors. So let's have a look at what products we can advise or we're investing in. Myself, I'm an investor today. Uniski string technology called SkyWay. And because most of you guys already heard about the Skyway technology, so I will not spend lots of time talking about the Skyway. But for those people who are not aware, it is the elevated transport system in the second level. The greatest difference compared to any existing transport that's it is very cost effective, and the speed can be up to 500 kilometers an hour. It is really ecological friendly. You can use any sort of fuel you wish, and it is require minimum land acquisition, which means that you can build it in the middle of nowhere, in the middle of sea, in the middle of mountain, in the middle of a safari. It doesn't matter. And general designer Anatoly Unitsky, he been with this business for more than 35 years. He got the perfect reputation. He's a genius engineer with lots of awards and patents and certificates. So he's a very recognized person today. And he promoted this string technology since I think it was 35 years back, but only today we have opportunity to use to become a company co-owners, and only today it is the opportunity which is available for the people pretty much globally. So let's have a look a bit more detail on the Skyway advantages. So this is the product we invest in today, and this is the company Andrei Khabratov and SkyWay Invest Group we support in today. As you can see, there are a few advantages which cannot, the few technical advantages, the one I mentioned as well, which is very unique. And at the moment, the company, we don't have any direct competitors at all. Of course, current monorail, they might be competitors in a way that we're working on the same theme, like a transport industry. But at the same time, we don't have any transport which can be as effective, as cheap, as environmental friendly as the Skyway. And the reason why I mentioned that it is a very good opportunity to get on board today is that the company uses the crowdfunding. So remember in my first slide when we talk about equity crowdfunding, equity investment, the crowdfunding was the part of it. So that's what they do exactly. So you have an idea, and Unitsky has a perfect product with a very long life, terms, and this technology can be implemented globally. And at the moment, we do the crowdfunding where we allow usual people to invest little money. It depends, of course, how much money you would want to invest, and receive some profit out of this. And now we'll show you another video about the Ecotechnopark. Just to give you a bit background, Ecotechnopark is our test land in Minsk and Belarus. So idea of having Ecotechnopark is that you can show this transport as if like offline shop, So the people who would want, or government who would want to implement the transport in the countries, they would come to the Minsk, to Ecotechnopark, and they will have a look how technology up and running, the certification will be done, they will be able to use the transport themselves, so they will be to see operating models, and as well as future Skyway development, maybe adding few other advantages for this technology, a few other perks, a few other benefits. So Ecotechnopark, in the future, this will be our test land for any technology development. But today we have an Ecotechnopark to certify the technology, and so we can invite all officials and the people, private investors, investment institutions who would want to be part of this company, who would want to invest in this company, so they can see not just piece of picture or good presentation, so they can actually see the piece of transport. And this is the point of creating the Ecotechnopark. And in fact, what we do now is the crowdfunding for Ecotechnopark. So the people who come on board now, we start the crowdfunding from October 2014. So now it will be our one of the latest stages for crowdfunding, because we are ready to move to the next level. But for people who join in today and tomorrow, they will still have opportunity to invest in the main company. So no matter how many roads will be built in the future, it does not matter how many projects we will have in the future. You, as technology co-owner, you will receive the dividends and you will receive the profit from every single road built in the future. And this is a very important point. You're not just investing into the technology development, you become a co-owner of the company, of the technology itself, and when the roads are built, you as technology co-owner, you receive the benefits. And let me show you another little video how Ecotechnopark development looks today. Well, I guess the first two pictures, first few seconds of the video, that was how Ecotechnopark looks today. But rest of that was the projection. Of course, it's not real yet, but this is something in our close future. So I'm not talking about their long-term investment. This will be the medium-term, because the company has a plan to go to the IPO. I will tell you a bit detail a bit later. So these are actually how our two pieces of transport which company has today. On the first picture on the left, you can see Unibike. This would be the small for two people. You can see Armand and Olga on the picture on the right top, looking very excited and happy inside the Unibike. So this is actually the real model one on one, and already Skyway technology been presented already in a few exhibition. And this is the first time in Germany in a trans exhibition where we presented the first two pieces of transport. And because Skyway Invest Group, we are actually the first company who supported Unitsky, and Havratov was the first businessman who not just said, "Well, we have a great product." He said, "Well, we have a great product, and that's how we did the funding for this product." So they put together a strategy where two geniuses they come together. One was with the idea of having the transport which can really save the world and save the environment and make our life easy, because this transport could be so fast, so efficient, so cheap, so we don't have to stay in the traffic, all day long. And at the same time, we have another genius. He's a genius from the business side who understand on investment, how to build the businesses. So when they come together, they create a really beautiful product out of this cooperation. And that's what you can see today, and that's what you can see now on this presentation. So we have two real pieces of transport. They all are working, and in fact, a few days ago, it was announcement that's on 29 or 28th of November. We have a big delegation in Minsk, where the people, officials from few countries, they are personally invited by Unitsky to see how everything will be up and run. So the test will be done by end of the November, so the people would be able to maybe even try Unibike or Unibus themselves. It is not confirmed yet, but I think it will be really good, a very huge event. And then Ecotechnopark will be open for public next year, probably April. So all shareholders and all people who involved in this business will be more than welcome to come to Minsk and see Ecotechnopark yourself and try transport if you're allowed to do so. But you actually invest in here in the real sector of economy. And remember I mentioned about the IPO. So the company has a really clear strategy what to do next, how to do it, and how much it would cost. So the exit strategy will be go to IPO, and IPO means initial public offering, where we go to the stock exchange where people can sell their shares publicly, when you can earn very big money, because today the share price is very low, but when company go to public, the minimum price per share will be $1. Approximately, this will happen within 3 to 5 years. As soon as we have 100,000 kilometers of road been built and been used, then company would be ready to go to IPO. And today we actually between 2016 and 17, as you can see, demonstration certification, and that's actually what happened today. Like that's what happened today and tomorrow and yesterday. So we are in this stage now, and in fact. From tomorrow, I believe we move into the station number 8, which means that there is another yet step closer to our end result. And from next year, as soon as we have a technology certification, then we can adopt this technology globally, which means that there are many countries now involved who place an order for this technology, and now we do all the preparation for the contracts, and Unitsky will be very much involved in building the local projects globally. So our technology adoption period is from 2017 till 2020, and then company can go to IPO between this time. So this will be the plan. In terms of potential, it's very important when you decide to become an investor. This is the question you would always need to ask. So, what is the potential of this technology? So, what would be return? What is the investment offer? So, potential technology is very very huge, and as you can see, there are different markets which will be involved. At the moment, 2014 to up to 2017. So, we're talking about the science and high tech. We're talking about the venture and startup markets because we're talking about the technology and innovation, so it is very complex. It's not like you selling the socks, I don't know, like not like you making like a bag or coffee. We're talking about the transport infrastructure, so it is very very solid piece of an economy. And I think I shared with you the many times, but according to the McKinsey report, 3.3 trillion needs to be inserted in global economy to keep up with the population growth, and this money needs to be used for infrastructure development. So that's why going further from 2018 to 2020 and 25, we would be able to dominate the stock markets, the forex, and real estate. The stock market, well, obviously because we will have stocks. We have a lot of stocks in the company, and if you're interested, we can talk about in a bit more detail the forex market as well, because it is the investment. So we have a different ways how we can position our investment, and the real estate and market infrastructure, where they're quite obvious. The market infrastructure, manufacturing market, because we need to order steel, we need to order material, we need to order like different piece of I don't know, steel and wood and plastic, whatever it is. So we're gonna have lots of fabrics across the world, and depends how many projects we will do at what time. But then they will affect the manufacturing market overall, because we're trying to build a new technology. We try to put the new product into the market, which is very complex, which includes not just piece of transport, but it includes its entire infrastructure. So we're talking about the roads, we're talking about the stations, we're talking about the carriages. So it is very complex infrastructure, which means that we would be able to influence the manufacturing market and the real estate, because these stations in the future they can be utilized by maybe having like a car park. That's something they plan to do in Australia, or maybe even accommodation for students. Again, this is our Australian project with Rod Hook, where they decided to use the station as the facilitator for car park and the student accommodation. So the government can also get a profit out of just having this station built, which will be connected to the Skyway road. Um, so you see, everything is so related. And of course, when the company grows bigger, when we go to IPO and after IPO period, then the stock market, so the company shares will go up and up and up every year. The more roads built globally, the higher share price would be, and as well as it will affect the insurance sector and banking sector a lot as well. And the banking sector probably now on a bit of danger, and as you can see, it's already will happen within the 2 years time, because at the moment banking sector they struggle, and they actually recently I read the article that for the last year the banks they printed the larger amount of money they had for the past 10 years, and they not actually printed as if on a paper. What they did is they add the zeros to their accounts, because at the moment most of the money we use the electronic money, right? So only 10% of all money which we'll use globally are actual paper money, cash. Rest of the money the electronic money. So for the last year, the economy, well, U.S. because they have kind of the right to print the dollars, and they have the Federal Reserve there in U.S. So they printed more money than they did for the past five years, and I mean that's just crazy. So that's why we believe that we will be able to influence all these markets. Of course, some of them on the short term, like science and high tech, and some of them on a longer term, such as insurance market, stock market, and banking sector. But they just to give you an idea that with Ecotechno Park, the story just start. It's not the end of the story. This is just top of iceberg. What will be the development of the company? And the question you would want to always ask when talk about the investment, what is there for you? So the different options where you can become corner. At the moment, if you log in online to the Skyway Invest Group back office, you will see this table, which can give you an opportunity to invest whatever the money you wish. Just to give you an idea, so if you invest today the 1,000 USD dollars, you will have a portfolio of 1,100 shares, which means that for you, share price will be 0.005 cents. And as soon as the company go to public, then as I mentioned before, one share will be $1, which means that you will own the portfolio of 1,100,000 dollars. Not bad for investment, right? But because again it is the equity investment, it is the crowdfunding, that's where returns are very good. If the same company would have choose different ways of funding, then trust me, we would not have such opportunity at all. So it is about to be with the right company at the right time, and you can become technology co-owner very simply. You just log in online, you ask the person who invited you to share with you a link, and then you can become the technology co-owner as well. And today we have opportunity to invest in the main company in the core Ecotechno Park, but then in the future, we will be given opportunity to invest in a local project, which also will positively influence your overall portfolio overview. Because one thing when you invest in a company technology, but another thing when you invest in the local and the different projects, it will help you to differentiate your investment, because some of the local projects they might be profitable within the year, which means that you can earn dividends quicker from the local projects compare till you waited for the entire company go to IPO. You see those little things which are very important to understand, and that is why we want to now to start talking about the local projects more than just investment in a core company. People who did not invest in a main company, for them this is the last opportunity, honestly. For local projects, the price will be different, returns will be lesser, and opportunities will be different. For all the people who are listening to this presentation for the first time, I hope I give you enough information to see that, to understand and to evaluate, and that the company know they have a perfect management team, they have a very good strategies, they understand where they're going, they understand what markets they will influence and when and how. So it is very lucrative investment, and for each 1,000 you invest, you will receive a few $100,000, which is like very good investment return. Also, at the moment, while we do the crowdfunding, we can still offer some business opportunities, which are reward-based marketing, which mean that if you invite your friends or people who would be interested to invest in technology, you would be able to earn 15% on each investment they made. So if you have 10 people under yourself, and all these 10 people decide to invest 1,000, so then you will earn 150 times 10, you will earn $1,500 back in your bonus account, which is will be the money will be in your bonus account as soon as your people paid, and you can withdraw them at any time you wish. Plus, the company give opportunity to earn on shares. So as soon as your friends or your family they purchase certain packages, you would be able to get some percentage of shares on the top. And from when we go to the next stage, stage number 8, so the shares will be 3.4%. It is very good opportunity, business opportunity for people who naturally very good at sales, at marketing, the people who would want to become a part of this company, not just externally, but internally. So this will be the people like the big investors who invest the money and then they want to manage company. So here we have something similar in a smaller case, because none of us are big investor, because I believe we don't have any self-made multimillionaires here in this room. But at the same time, me personally, I want to be involved. I want to understand what is the strategy for the company development. I want to make sure that my investment is protected. I want to make sure that the company they know where they're going and how. And because I'm very passionate about the product itself, I'm very passionate about investment. I find this very perfect fit for me, where I can invest my money, when I can be involved in the management, and when I can make the profit out of other people's investment as well. Because if I wouldn't tell them, how else would they know about this opportunity? So reward-based marketing is very popular. However, only few firms in the world they do reward-based crowdfunding. So we are one of the first companies who try to and implement this in real life or for the real product. and we've been doing this for the past 2 years. And I can tell you guys now that we easily do 1 million per month for just crowdfunding. And actually, this month is really breaking even for us. I think we already done, well, today 18 to the 20, and we already achieved 2.5 million for this month. And just to give you an idea, some crowd companies for the entire project, for example, Crowdcube, the maximum money they can collect for you is 10 million maximum. So what we achieved so far is bigger than the crowdfunding company for the entire project at one point of the time can afford. So I hope you can see the scope of opportunities here, and people here are really good at marketing and sales, the people who passion, then it is really, really good opportunity for you, because as we're going to do local projects, we would need to have more people, and we're not planning to hire people from outside. We're not creating, the job market for random people. We're creating the job market for the people who are already involved, who are investors, and who understand what we do and how we do and why we're doing this. So it will be a really good opportunity for people, not for that long time. As I mentioned, in December, you would be given opportunity to invest in one of the local projects, SkyWay Invest Group, and we have a rights, we have a contract signed with Unitsky, which allow us to go and sell his technology on behalf of him and implement this technology globally. So this is a very important thing for people to understand. So I hope I give you lots of thoughts. Very brief news. We just had a conference last week in Italy, Compra Verde by Green Forum, where our representative, Petro Jalba, Armand Smurnieks, and Olga Shantina, they had a very productive discussion with Romanian officials, with Italian officials, with Bulgarian officials. So there are lots of people who are actually interested to build the Skyway. And even today, I talked to Armand. He's in negotiation with another guy who met in this forum, and he's like extremely rich, and he wants to be involved in different projects, which give us again investors such a good reassurance. And as soon as the company succeed, we all people who invested in the early stages to, and all people who invest in Ecotechno Park, well, these shares will turn to like millions of dollars. So we have really good opportunity, and the fact that myself, I can see that every day how company grow, and that's just amazing. And I wish you all can see what I can see. Then we can build a really strong team together, and we can go to our end result and help people to achieve their financial freedom and fulfill their dreams and fulfill Unitsky dream, of course. His dream to see this, stream technology up and running globally, and he's been carrying this dream for almost 35 years. So he really deserves to get his dream, out of his head, and he deserves to see everything up and running. So the few events we've been involved recently. Belarusian Transport Week, the one I showed you previously was Italian Forum, then International Economical Forum in Ukraine, and InnoTrans, where we launched this technology for the first time. So that will be all from me for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed. I know that I give you lots of kind of information which I would not usually share in a usual webinar, but as you can appreciate, now we want you to have a long-term vision of what we do and why we do this. It is not just about one-time investment. It is about you to understand what is investment, so you can grow as the investor, and you can teach other people how to do it. And then if you're happy, then you can bring this happiness to other people, to other communities, and we're just here to help you. So let's do it all together. And our first project is Skyway Technologies, which we strongly believe, and most of the people, they came to Skyway Invest Group because of the Skyway projects. And however, there are going to be many other opportunities, include the local projects, which will be another investment tool, another investment assets in your portfolio. And it's very important for you to see that through, because this will help you to achieve wherever the dreams of financial freedom you dream of. So thank you very much. If you have any questions, please write them down, so we'll be able to answer them. Okay, plus, plus, plus. All right, so let's have a look at one of the slides. Real estate does not have secure risk added, although equity has got. What is the difference? Okay, the question is, I noticed on one of the slides, types of investment. Types of investment. You can see the slide, right? Types of investment. That real estate does not have a secure risk. Real estate. Secure and equity has got. Okay, well, I see. Well, the reason why is real estate is not secure business. I mean, no matter how good you can calculate your profit to buy or own the real estate, it is never secure because there are so many different conditions. I mean, the market is could go up, it could down. Like for example, Brexit now in UK, it's affected the price very badly, so which is out of the people control. For example, in some countries have a flooding and different disasters which might happen. So it is real estate is never secure investment, like secure type of an investment. The real estate can give you really good profit, but in terms of the risk, it is not guaranteed. I mean, you cannot. Nobody can tell you that if you invest 100,000 in this property, then it's guaranteed that it will double up in the price in 5 years. It is not possible. This is the false statement to make. That's why on some equity you have secure risk because it depends what equity investment is such a big topic. For example, if you look at the existing business, some of the businesses can guarantee you return, right? So if you invest in some businesses, let's say the government bonds or something, so they can guarantee in return that if you invest on this, I don't know, if you buy government bonds, then they would be able to give you 2% by the end of the financial year. So you would have a contract. So there's a different ways of how the investment can be guaranteed. So with the equity investment, the risk can be secured because it could be guaranteed your investment, your return on the investment. On the real estate, your return on the investment not guaranteed. That way, the risk is not like kind of not secure risk. Maybe secure is not the right word to use actually, but what it's meant to say that if it's your return guaranteed, then the risk can be secure. If it's your return not guaranteed, then it's moderate risk. And if your risk is very high, then it's the high risk that you might never get your money back. Okay. Mila asked you before, can you send me that video? Yeah, John, if you just please PM me on Skype, so I would be able to share. Even though I cut this video in a few pieces, so I don't have a whole video. I think it's somewhere in SkyWay Invest Group YouTube. I can have a look. I'm not sure if I can find the whole video, but this one I just cut it myself for the presentation purpose. Okay, for some reason I cannot see slides. Okay. Any idea and consult? Oh yeah, Harish, I replied to you in chat. So Harish asking any idea and consultant if consultant package continue? Yeah, the consultant package continue. I'll write it down to you in the chat, so please have a look. This presentation is not just, I cannot send this presentation to everyone. This is the intellectual property of the SkyWay Invest Group. And Ali, we probably need to just talk and see how you want to use this presentation. And if you can do the presentation maybe once between me and you, then we can discuss this because I cannot just, to send people without first checking what you're going to say about this business. So please PM me so we can discuss this in privately. Yeah, thank you very much, Julie. Okay. All right. You can mention one. Well, John, again, we have slightly issue with the payments, and I know for some people it's really frustrated, but guys, that's how it is at the moment. I know that some countries they cannot pay the packages using Visa and Mastercard. but that's how it is. It's not in our control, and many reasons for that. So if you want to top up your wallets, if there are a few videos I uploaded online, you can find them either on Facebook or you can find them on SkyWay Invest Group YouTube channel. How to top up if you live in UK, and how to top up if you live anywhere in Europe. So there are a few other options which can be considered apart from Visa and Mastercard. Harrison asked if Australia has started the project yet. No, and the reason why is they cannot start building the project without certification first. So we're waiting for the tests. We need to Unitsky needs to complete all the tests, and as soon as the test done within the next few months, then I'll do certification. They will do certification, and then they can talk about the building projects globally. Okay, Ali, yeah, let's talk in private with regards to the presentation. And so I'm glad that's okay. I'm glad that we don't have any other questions. So thank you very much for your time. Special discount. Ali asking me how long the special discount will last. Well, as soon as we go to the station number 8, the special discount will not longer be an option, which is supposed to happen tonight. So for people who did not invest on time, then you would have opportunity only to invest lump sum from tomorrow, unless the company give another few days, which I have no idea, and only Unitsky knows. And last time, for example, the deadline was 17, but then because of the few payments were missing, well, more than few, they managed to kind of extend this period for extra 3 days. But I'm not sure if this will happen in on like today. Anyway. So the special discounts they valid until the next stage, which is supposed to happen tonight. All right, thank you very much, guys. I'm sorry I took a bit of your time. It's 1.5 hours. I hope you learned today something new, and I hope that this information can give you opportunity to think about the future. What would you want, and how you see your future, and if you're interested to know about more about investment, then I can think about maybe different webinars and different topics where we can slowly take information from Academy of Private Investors. Some of the information already translated in English. So if you go to your back offices and you click on education, you would be able to see some materials which have been translated from Havratov School. So if you're interested to learn about investment, then this will be the right place to go. So thank you very much for your time. I wish you all the best, and let's stay connected. Bye bye, everyone.